drink and $1 to dig my grave. Well, so I was over to see an uncle of mine the other day. He's my rich uncle, and he's the first man around home to ever build one of these modern houses. It's the prettiest thing that ever you did see. Great big thing with a whole lot of different rooms in it. And he says, come on, let me take you through the house and show you the different rooms and what they're for. I said, all right. So we started in, and he says, now this here's the bedroom. Well, I could see that. There's beds around in it. He says, you see that bed over there in the corner? He says, that's a fine old bed, and it's worth a lot of money. Why, he says that bed goes back to Louis the 14th. Well, I said, we got one over at the house that goes back to Sears Roebuck the 15th. 15 cents is all I got, $1's all I crave. 15 cents to buy me a drink and $1 to dig my grave. Well, so he said, I have to go out and cut a little stove wood, so you go ahead and look over the house yourself. Well, I got to wandering around back in there, and I come across a little room that I don't think they aimed for me to find. It is sort of shelved off like they's ashamed of it, but I found it just in time, and it is the prettiest thing you ever seen. It had a horse troughed in there, the prettiest thing you ever seen, and over on the side there, sticking on the wall, there was a little white bowl-like thing with a couple of spouts on it. Now, it is to wash your face in, but it wasn't no count. It had a hole in the bottom of it, and the water'd run right out just fast as you put it in there. Finally, I stuck a corn cob down in it, and then it was all right. Well, sitting over on the other side was the prettiest thing of all. It sat about 2 feet high, and it is to wash your feet in. But and it is the handiest thing. You could wash one foot, jerk a little lever, and get some clean water for this foot. Yes, sir. And it had 2 lids on it. One right on top of each other, just like that. Well, sir, I didn't know why it had 2 lids until I raised that top one up, and the bottom one was mighty near it wore out. It had a big hole wore clear through it. Well, sir, I took them off and put it in my suitcase and took them home with me, and Ma made the prettiest breadboard out of that top one you ever seen. They framed my picture in the oven. 15 cents is all I got. $1